Recently, David Icke had an interview where he uncovered a lot of the more sinister plans that Elon Musk and many others do have when it comes to the developments around AI. And Elon Musk is one individual that I think a lot of you need to be a lot more weary of, because a lot of the time he will say one thing and then do the complete opposite. And this is a very dangerous precedent, considering, well, he's currently the wealthiest known man in the world, and he also has control over a lot of the technologies that will be completely controlling your life in the future. However, David Icke really dives deep into this matter and talks about these technologies, how they're currently being used, and the fact that, he's actually able to expose a lot of information many people did not even know beforehand. And so that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. I want to start by playing you this part of the interview with David Icke, because he says a lot of very valuable information that will completely change your life. Listen up.
And when people like me come along and uncover what they know and tell the population how they're manipulating, the population in general will say, you're crazy, you're mad, that's ridiculous, because they confuse their perception of technological limitation with actual technological limitation, and they're not the same thing.
Yeah.
But then more and more people are waking up to the fact that actually maybe I should open my mind and realize that actually what I dismiss is more obviously happening. So what you need is a figure or figures that can sell to this skeptical about AI and AI human fusion and AI control arena. I mean, 75 million people are supposed to have voted for Trump this time, and previous times pretty much the same. And that was Elon Musk. So, like I say, they play the long game. So if you go back a few years, Elon Musk came out and said AI could be the end of humanity. As we know it, that's true. But what he's done ever since is roll out more and more AI. And what you've seen, totally predictable, is since he became part of the Trump administration, not by accident, totally by design, long planned, he has become a greater and greater, more blatant promoter of artificial intelligence. You see his machine gun fire posts on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know how he finds the time when he claims that 80% of his time he's done in engineering and design, a load of rubbish. He's not running his companies any more than bloody I am. He's a front man. That's what he is. He's a sales pitcher, a salesman. And so what he has said, first of all, AI could be the end of humanity. So actually, you skeptics, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm on your side. I see it. But what he's saying is, AI getting more and more intelligent is inevitable. Now, inevitability, if you can sell it, is a very powerful perceptual weapon, because you've got, say, a group of people and they don't want something, so they're resisting it, they're pushing back on it. You convince them that what they're pushing back on and what they don't want is inevitable, and you go into a completely different mentality where now it's not about stopping it, it's about mitigating its impact. And that's what Musk has done. And so what he says is, because AI getting more and more intelligent is inevitable, if humans don't fuse with AI, then humans are basically going to die out. So then you take a breath, you drop the cognitive dissonance, which is a human disease, and you look at the outcome of both the hard cell and the Musk soft cell. And it's both human fusion with AI, but targeting different mentalities in different ways and through different rhetoric.
A testament to what David Icke is saying here is the fact that Elon Musk was actively funding OpenAI at the very same time that he was going on interviews with Joe Rogan years ago and saying that AI is going to completely destroy civilization. I want you guys to ask yourself this question real quick. Why would Elon Musk be spending billions of dollars in getting OpenAI or ChatGPT on the market if he thinks it's going to completely destroy civilization? There can only be two explanations. He's either lying to all of you guys and saying things that he does not believe believe and he actually thinks AI is going to be a great thing, or he does actually see that AI is going to destroy society and he's investing into it in the hopes of being able to be the one who can reap the benefits of doing so. And when you really look at Elon Musk's track record, you can start to understand that he's done this many different times with a number of different things as well. He will normally go out to the public and say things like, yep, AI is going to destroy humanity. It's inevitable. There's no hope, all doom and gloom. And then he's going to be doing something completely different behind the scenes, like actively funding it and making sure that the technology is advancing. And it just doesn't really sit well with me. I mean, it just seems like you can't really trust what the guy is saying. Why wouldn't he come out in that Joe Rogan interview and say anything about the fact that he's actively funding ChatGPT in that moment in time? There's literally no reason, if his intentions are good, for him not to come out and say something actively about it. And so this is where I am starting to not trust this person at all, and where I'm actually becoming extremely skeptical of him. Seems the more that I learn about him, the least trustworthy he becomes. And then I want to just go over to X real quick and what he's doing with Twitter. You will notice that he's now made it an absolute necessity for everybody who's getting verified on that platform to get ID verification. So he's tying in everybody's government-issued ID to their personal profile, and he's making it so that if you are not a verified user on the X platform, you are not going to be seen on the algorithm. He's essentially building his own social credit system, which he is also using AI to study and develop all of your personal information into a database, which he is using to further develop the AI even more. So he basically purchased X, not as a freedom of free speech as he was previously saying, but instead as a giant training module for his AI. You look at Grok and it has access to all of your profile information, and now it's also tied directly to your government issued ID if you did get verified on that platform. And I'm somebody who did get verified on that platform, and I did sip the Elon Musk Kool-Aid, I believe, for maybe a little bit too long. And this is something that I am growing to regret, in all honesty, because I am seeing that, you probably should not be trusted. But there's a lot more that David Icke goes into here too that I think is infinitely valuable. So I want you guys to listen up, hit that like button so everyone sees it, and let's get into that.
Twitter, well, he didn't. He was allowed to buy it. And, you look at the shareholders of the holding company of Twitter, and you're talking about the Qataris and the Saudi Arabians and, real people that really care about free speech, but he was allowed to buy it. And how do I know that? Well, because he's telling us, it was clear with Twitter before Musk that you could not post certain things on there because they would not be allowed on. They get taken down, and if you posted enough of them, you'd be taken down. When he bought it, he released these so-called Twitter files through a guy called Michael Schellenberger, who I have enormous reservations about, to say the least. And enormous reservations about, to say the least. And he released these files to show that the so-called deep state controlled before him what was allowed and what was not allowed on Twitter.
Yeah.
So you say to people, okay, so what you're telling me, and it's true, what you're telling me is before Musk bought Twitter, the deep state controlled what went on Twitter. Yeah, absolutely, mate. So then the question comes, why did they sell it to him then? Why did they sell it to a so-called, he's not, free speech absolutist? Makes no sense whatsoever. So then you look at the impact. And what's happened is that he is fronting up all these companies that are ticking the box of the agenda, SpaceX, low orbit satellites creating the cloud, Neuralink, brain chipping, connecting to computers, and autonomous cars where the computer dictates where you can and cannot go through Tesla, so on and so forth. And before he bought Twitter, there were, so we say, more people within the alternative arena that were pointing this out. Hey, look, this guy's pushing us towards transhumanism, right? And this fusion of humans and AI. So before he bought Twitter, there were more people within the alternative media who were pointing out that Musk was pushing us towards this transhumanist agenda, this AI human fusion. But since he bought Twitter and allowed people back on, that's stopped. It's not even stopped in the genuine alternative media that operates outside of the mainstream hijacked alternative media since COVID. But in that central core that gets all the algorithmic support, all the promotion, all the funding, and people like Alex Jones has been pulled into that group big time. I mean, he's become like a puppy dog to Musk. It's embarrassing, frankly.
Yeah.
And
do you think
I've known Alex for a long time. I've only met him once, but I've been on his show quite a few times. And he was very dismissive of me for a lot of years, and dismissed a lot of things I said that he's now agreeing with are true.
Yeah.
But we didn't agree on lots of things, but on the main themes we kind of did. But he's just become an embarrassing Trump groupie now, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's very, very dangerous and very sad because he's pulling a lot of people in with it to eulogize this guy Musk, who is just unbelievably shafting everybody without them being able to see it. But Musk is now pushing this agenda, more and more of this whole AI control system, and he's getting no pushback whatsoever from that mainstream.
Yeah.
And it's very, very sad, and it's very dangerous. But there are people, and more people now. I mean, every time I post about the Musk-Trump agenda, and I've been doing it now for well over a year, you get enormous amounts of abuse. And you're going to get it when you say it, because, one of the biggest, most powerful mind manipulation techniques is telling people what they want to hear. Because when you tell people what they want to hear, the door is swinging open for you, because they want it to be true. So they want to believe that Musk and Trump are the saviors, and they're going to sort it out. They want to believe it. When you're telling people what they don't want to hear, this is what I've done for 35 years, basically. And I don't want any of this to be true either, just the fact that it is. And so why we're hiding from it, the door to you is slammed shut, because they don't want it to be true. And I do understand that, but it is. It's blatantly so. And so we have this situation where Musk is now on the inside of the Trump government, pushing an AI agenda, and around him and around Trump is this group of AI fusion billionaires like Peter Thiel and Mark Andreessen. Mark Andreessen, who blocked me on Twitter X for no reason. I never even mentioned him on Twitter X, but he blocked me anyway. And they're pushing this agenda. And Peter Thiel is the political funder of J.D. Vance, the vice president upcoming with Trump. He's a business associate of J.D. Vance, and he's a business associate of Vivek Ramaswamy, who with Musk is going to run this government waste, slim down government, make government more efficient operation. And I'll tell you now what is going to be the foundation of make government more efficient. It's going to be more and more AI.
Smart technology.
Right? And it's going to be deregulating blocks on AI. So Trump's already said that when he gets into government, he's going to reduce dramatically the regulations that are stopping AI being used in the way that they want it to be used.
So let me just get this straight. The guy who said AI is going to completely destroy society and is basically the end of humanity as a whole is now looking to make AI control the government? That seems a little bit suspicious. I mean, at the very least, we got to ask a couple of questions here and ask him, like, okay, why are you trying to, train AI models on, all of these millions of people on X, and you're also trying to replace a large part of the government with artificial intelligence, which you are designing? Is like there are no questions there? Like, are we not worried at all that this guy's going to abuse this power in any way? I mean, I really hope for the best. I really hope that this AI is going to be phenomenal. It's going to make things more efficient. But also, this is coming from the guy who said AI is going to destroy humanity. So honestly, I do take a lot of what he says with a grain of salt at this point in time. We have yet to see exactly how it's going to play out, how much government funding they do cut, how much more efficient they make the government, whether or not they're going to replace all these agencies with artificial intelligence, and how this all really looks at the end of the day. But one thing I think we absolutely can all agree on, no matter who you are, whether you are an Elon Musk fanboy, fangirl, groupie, whatever, or somebody who's very critical of him, is we need to be able to have complete oversight over all of the different AI technologies and algorithms that they're going to be using to set this all up. Because if there is any biases in this technology whatsoever, it can be extremely dangerous. We've already seen how OpenAI and ChatGPT are extremely politically biased, and so if whatever Elon Musk is building there with Grok is biased in any capacity, this does have the potential to turn into a dystopian nightmare, which I'm sure absolutely none of you want any part in. So that's what I'm calling for, is more transparency, and we really need to be able to start asking these questions without fear of being censored. And that's another thing. Elon Musk has started censoring people on X who disagree with him, which once again, I really don't like. Just deleting their account because they're critical of you, dangerous precedent, okay? We really should not be standing for that. So with all that being said, if you want to spread the message of what I'm talking about in this video, make sure you hit that like button and you subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. It's completely free, and it really helps me out to get the good word